I'm really happy that you are here and that we can do this one healing class today. It's really great to be here in this moment, present with you. And it is like, oh, this one enters in, or this one enters in. Oh my God, it's so great to have you all here. So I would say move a little closer if you can. And uh, yeah, it's great to join with you today in this class. The we use the book "The Government of Eden" from Joel Goldsmith, and now we skipped quite a bit in the book. We went to page 162, and there's in fact the title of the section that I use in this class is from chapter 7 or 8 or so, and I always forget exactly what it is. And the title is Now Spirit Functions Your Life. And so Joel says a lot in this chapter. There's a lot put in it. And I want to just stand still with you at certain parts of the text because um, they represent the totality of your being. So that's what I want to come into the experience of that and teach from there and show that and demonstrate that with you because what we're doing is not really like trying to get an understanding or trying to understand what he says or trying to figure out what it means or see, like that is not interesting anymore because we want to get into the direct experience of it. And so now functions, now spirit functions your life is not an idea. It is an actual, um, occurrence. It is stating the reality or the truth about you. Spirit is functioning your life, and that's happening right now. So if you walk too far ahead, you miss it. But it is happening right now. You can ignore it if you want. You can not be aware of it, of course. So that's why we come together, basically, to actively remember that that is the case. That spirit now, especially now, functions your life, not some other time. No, he's functioning it. He's literally living your life right now. So you wanna have that be revealed to you what it actually means. So you cannot do that without knowing, basically knowing the consequences of that for your personal for your personal ideas that you hold about yourself, your subjective ideas. um, so I wanted to start this basically with a meditation. This class is great with the words that Joel uses here. I saw like, okay, we can really use this in a meditation to immediately come into the experiential, um, yeah, occurrence of this. You know, come into the experience of this instead of concepts. So I use what he says here in the second paragraph. And he starts off with the question: is there anything or anybody that will be with you to the end of the world except I? And could you reach any place before or after I? No. And then here's the meditation or the lines that are given. The truth about you that is given in this moment is: I and my Father are one. I and my Father are one. So there's not two of us. No, there's one of us. I and my Father are one. And I don't know what that means, but I love to experience that in this moment. I and my Father are one. What does that mean? Show that to me. The place whereon thou standest is holy ground, because I am there within you. The place whereon thou standest is holy ground, because I am there with you, within you. Be still and know I within you is there, is God, and will ever be. I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Fear not, it is I. Fear not, it is I. I, the all-presence, the all-knowing, the all-power, and the all-loving. So there's no place where that is not. There's no such thing as a place where that is not present. Yeah, that's so great. Thank you. Thank you. See, we know these words, we're accustomed to them. But see, the reality of it, we don't really need those words at all. In reality, we don't need those words. It is just for us to remember it in this present moment that that is your reality. And once you experience that reality, the words are just a joy to read. You don't need them, but they are very joyful to read because it is such a lovely idea to let that come to you and let that really say, come into you and letting yourself be affected by it. And that is what's so lovely about this. So I'm continuing now with some words about it. See, in the first sentence of this section, Joel says, as guests of life, we are only temporary visitors to Earth. It is not given to us to possess anything here permanently because we cannot take with us nothing. We can take nothing with us when we leave except the spiritual treasures we have laid up. See, we enter into this stillness. We enter into this sacred space inside of us, and then you discover it's like the connection to Earth in this moment is you're not really aware of it, because you could care less for now. It's like, yeah, I know this space. I love to be here. I love to be in this peaceful place called my stillness. And whatever happens in this world, I have to let go of it, because I'm not from this world. I'm just a temporary visitor. I'm just passing by in that sense. And it's really a big relaxation to let go of your binds to it, like your connections to it, for a moment, to relax into your withinness, and feel the rejuvenation that is going on, and the relaxation that you can just breathe in as much as you like. So in this chapter that we use, or this section, there's not even a chapter, it's just a section, but there's so much in it, and it's a lot about healing. And Joel talks about stilling your mind, creating a vacuum, creating space literally in your mind where this can occur. Because Joel says, when you create a space in your mind, between your thoughts, that is immediately going to be filled up with light and love. So that is what you want. That is what we're training ourselves into. It's like you want to have moments where you slow down, so your mind slows down, so there's a little bit more space between your thoughts. So you create a vacuum, but that vacuum is immediately going to be filled up with light and love. See, and that's what you see when we become still, to listen to some words like "I am my Father are one," and breathing that in a little bit is also creating that space inside yourself, so that you can actually hear what that means or feel what that means. So then, regarding healing, Joel says this is what happens with healing too. It is you create that space within yourself, and whether you feel something or whether you are completely aware of what is going on, that doesn't even matter. But something is changing, something takes place. It's like something is happening. There's really something happening. You can always trust that, because in the moment that you become still and not having any answers to the problems that are confronting you, you allow a space to occur in your mind that literally, whatever occurs, it really doesn't matter. I'm here, still recording this session, still being with you. So Joel says, with healing, with creating this vacuum, whether you are actually experiencing this or are completely aware of what is occurring or not, it really does not matter. So in that, something is occurring, and you saw something is occurring, suddenly something occurs. So whatever that is. But Joel is referring to healing in that. And I'll read it to you how he says it, because it's beautiful. It's just beautiful the way he describes it. 162. See, this is happening after the meditation that we just did. Then let us go about our business each day, and let the Father within us do the works. For this I that is within each one of us is the Father that doeth the works. Then we are cleansed, we are purified, we are a vessel that is empty. We have no words, no thoughts for a moment. It can be a second or a minute. It can be 5 minutes. We are receptive. We wait. And whether or not we know it, something takes place. There can be no such thing as a vacuum without it immediately being filled. And this vacuum that we have created by emptying our finite selves with instantaneously filled with the divine presence, which I am. These are times when we consciously know it and feel it. There are times when we consciously know it and feel it. Then there are other times when we do not know. It is of no importance whether we know it or whether we feel it. It has happened. There can be no such emptying out process without filling up process, for these are one. So the emptying out and the filling up is an immediate process. It's not even a process, it's an immediate occurrence. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. And the moment you have emptied yourself of self, made room for the Spirit is there. You may hear those words, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is fulfillment. In the presence of God is fulfillment. Where I am, thou art, and this is fulfillment. And then here's the important ordination of you. And it goes like this. Let me find the words back. Where are they? Here they are. Here it is. The Spirit of God is upon me, and I am ordained to heal the sick. These words are spoken continuously from generation to generation, but if they were a perpetual tape going out over the air, as if they were a tape going out over the air, but they can only be heard in the silence by those receptive. The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me. Okay, so these are some words of Joel, and he's giving that to us to inspire, to show that this is a possibility for you to come into the realization of that, to actively use this for yourself, to extend yourself as the love that you are, remembering that for yourself, and in that sense directly giving it away to others, so that the healing, the remembrance can take place. Literally, we become members again. Remembering is also becoming a member again. It's like you realize that there's no separation from the love of God, from that what you are. There's no exception to it. There's no separation from it. And that is what is the beauty of this what Joel shares with us. And I love to share that with you, because it is the say the possibility to actively apply this on a daily basis. It is the realization, literally and figuratively too. It's like the realization that the Spirit is upon you, that you literally can call that on as whenever you need that, whenever you need that remembrance, whenever you think that there's something separate from you, whenever you think that there's like someone coming up to you for healing, or you yourself are having trouble with yourself, or having a difficulty that you don't know how to get through with. And so that is the possibility for you. It's like he says, you're ordained to heal the sick. And the sick is then, these are your ideas about sickness. The sick are the reflections that you get of sickness. That is what needs to be healed. And that's where you can remember, by taking the responsibility for your perception and letting that come to you instead of rejecting it, or thinking that it has nothing to do with you. Now, so by taking the full responsibility for that, taking the responsibility for that, what you see and when you're in the middle of, that is touching you, that is ripping you apart, that is so intense in your face, so to speak, that is exactly where healing can take place for you by, say, inviting spirit in to allow yourself that healing, to become receptive to the healing. Like, and that is where something happens. Whether you feel it or not, something is happening because you call on something that is real, that will help you to see from the totality of your being. Suddenly you feel a release in which you start coming into an experience of oneness or of connectedness. And that is so great and so beautiful. And that is what's being offered here in this text, in this part, in this section of the book, The Government of Eden. To read these words of Joel, you will have to slow down too, because it is like, you better take one sentence out of it and really chew on it, or really go for that to feel what it actually says, than to read a whole chapter and thinking like, no, I don't know if it's touching me or not. Yeah, it's all right. It's very comforting in a certain sense, but I have no idea what it's about. No, so take time to let yourself be affected by it, and let it speak to you. It's literally like that. So in that becoming receptive for what it says, in fact, you allow that healing to occur. It is the same thing. It is not a different activity. That's the same as when I speak. It is here you can allow yourself to become completely receptive, and you can actually feel that you can give to that. And that giving to that is your receptivity. And that is, then anything is possible, but you feel completely connected to the occurrence. Like before the class, we were quiet, we didn't say much, or made a little joke here and there, but you feel the direct communication, you feel the presence just by being together. So that doesn't need any words, of course not, but see, this you can take with you wherever you go. It is not limited to the classroom, or just not limited to having to do that together or something. No, this is literally your your subjective experience of yourself. This is literally happening in you, with you, wherever you go. You have the opportunity to experience this. Okay, so I wrote some things down too. Let me see. Oh yeah. So of course, Joel is talking about the word emptying, like emptying your mind, or emptying, allowing healing to occur. So I wrote down a couple of things that have to do with this emptying. One of them is becoming free of concerns for a moment. Just becoming free of concerns by letting your concerns go. And the same, of course, with your ideas, letting your ideas go. And I say this many times with meditations too. So put your concerns on the shelf, put your ideas on the shelf, put on the shelf what you think that you are, and also all your habits, put your habits on the shelf. Put your time and space connections on the shelf, and all other mind interference. You can all put that on the shelf. So then, and see, this is this is not something that just happens. So it isn't an activity that you actually do. You let go of these things just for a moment to come into a different experience of yourself. So that is one thing. It's like, yeah, you actually have to train yourself to do so. That's inevitable. So then it becomes really simple to do that, because you have this practice of meditation, of letting go for a moment, emptying your mind, or allowing a purification to occur, letting yourself be affected by one of the truths about you. And that is what, yeah, like I said, that makes it easier. So your full commitment to this, you say like, yes, this is what I want, even for a moment, is enough. You know, that is like, yeah, that's where there's the possibility of having a different experience of yourself. So that is not so complicated. That doesn't take that much. It is just, see, your ideas about yourself could be the only thing that are really stopping you from actually going into that experience, because you might think that there are other things that you have to do in order to get this, or in order to deserve this. See, and these are just ideas that can be put on the shelf for a moment. You don't need those in order to for you to come into this experience of that something is happening, that you enter into a presence, into a connectedness that has nothing to do with this world, or has nothing to do with space and time. It has nothing to do with you as a human identity, and it has nothing to do with your ideas about what is occurring. It has definitely nothing to do with your understanding. See, and that is not acceptable to you until the moment that it is. And then you see like, oh my God, I should have done that before. I should have given that up way back then. Like, that is the easiest thing. It's so natural for me to do, to actually enter into that. And of course I trust the universe deep in my being. That is what I am. I am the certainty. I'm the life. I'm the spirit within. I am that, you know, I am that. That is my experience of myself in my totality. So that is always so interesting, that when you say squeeze yourself into your human identity and try to be that for a moment, it is always a limitation. It is always very temporal. It's always say disturbing in a certain sense, or causing fear, or it has always to do with the place and the time. So now you can go into this world with taking this with you, that you can let go of your ideas about what is happening despite the situation. It really doesn't matter. So then letting go of ideas of emergencies, or letting go of ideas of, oh, that needs to be dealt with immediately. No, just let some things happen, you know, like you let something new happen if you allow a different response of yourself. Instead of getting into action and fix something or do something, you come into the, okay, I go within, I let go of my ideas. Yeah, I'm getting into the practice now. I'm leaving that behind because I want to have a real occurrence inside of me, coming from within, and seeing that everything is connected to the universe, and that there literally is no exception to the love of God in its totality. Like, that is, there's nothing else but that. That's what I want to be revealed to me in this moment. See, and that has nothing to do with magic or a trick or a ritual, or no, not at all. So it's literally asking, in the moment that you're so present on planet Earth, so to speak, you're in the middle of an occurrence, of an happening, then in that moment you actually ask for that, for a realization of what is. And it works. It works perfectly, of course. So try it, use it. So you're ordained by spirit, like you're ordained to heal the sick. And that sounds like, no, it's not that you have to go to hospitals to heal all the sick. No. So it is literally standing still in the occurrences where you think you can be separate from everything that is. That's where the healing of the sick takes place. These are your ideas about separation. These are your ideas about sickness or disease, disaster, or death. No, death has been taken away for us. There's no such thing as death. It has been taken away for us. We'll get to that in the next weeks too, in the certain classes that we're going to do. It's like it's in our Easter time, so to speak. Talking about resurrection. You know, this is where we come into, like into your hands. I command my spirit. I'm completely trusting in this moment to choose differently than I'm used to. It is very exciting to me. I'm a little bit afraid, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm asking for help in this moment. My normal response to this situation would be so and so, but now I choose differently. I completely trust what is going on. I completely trust that, like, God did not change his mind about me. I am forever an effect of God. And I want that truth to be revealed in this instant. Yeah, and really, really revealed, not just as an idea, not just as a concept out of a book. No, really revealed to me as a real life experience in this moment, here and now. So in this moment that I sit with you, and in this moment that I walk with you, and in this moment that we appear to be in an emergency situation, and in this moment that I sit with you on your deathbed, that appears to be your deathbed, see, there is no exception to the love of God. Nothing can change that. Like, there's no power that can change that. There is literally no other power. So yeah, is this only for you? Yes, it is. This is only for you. You're ordained to heal the sick. You're like inspired by spirit. Spirit is now living your life. It is happening in this moment. And you take that with you wherever you go. And there's no exception to it. So you don't have to look for any exceptions anymore. I realized that in my awakening, that was one of the things that happened immediately. Like, I had a great, beautiful experience suddenly, that I was taken out of this frame altogether, entering into timelessness, seeing the perfection of the synchronicity of all of this. And the next moment I come back on this planet, so to speak, and the first things that I'm starting to do when I realize I still find myself on this earth was looking for exceptions. And then I crashed into a depression immediately. It's like maybe for half a year, I was in a deep depression. It's like, how am I supposed to do this now? I had this beautiful experience, and now I enter into try to find my way into humanness, into this place where I appear to have certain responsibilities and have to behave a certain way. And I try to adapt myself to it, but it's not really working out. Now, what am I going to do? So when I started to give up the ideas of looking for exceptions to the love of God, things became easier, because then it's like, oh, what a relief. There is no exception to the love of God. I take this with me wherever I go. I want to remember that, because otherwise I can have a great experience, but the next moment I step right into the trap that's in front of me, thinking that it is real and that there's an objective world where I participate in, and thinking that that has something to do with me, that it asks something of me, or that it's determining something for me. And that's just not the case, but you have to find that out for yourself. So that is what you call then the transformational process that we're in. No, but at the same time, it is, yeah, that okay. Let's help each other out here. So let's remember together. Let's remember each other in doing this. You know, because it is very painful to come in touch with adapting yourself, with an attitude of adapting yourself to this world, while you have a different experience of yourself. Like in our meditation today, you come into stillness, you come into the center of your being for just a moment. And then you don't want to get activated later on, or tomorrow, or whenever, to look for exceptions to the love of God. You will certainly find them. At least for a moment, you think them real. But then in the end, that needs to be undone. Like, it needs to be undone. And then suddenly you feel a release and see that, oh, luckily it's not true. What I thought would happen has not happened. I really thought for a moment I was separate from the love of God, and luckily it's not so. So this is our healing class. And it is really great to have used some sections from the book, The Government of Eden. I really had to look for this chapter. Like I just continued to go through the book until I found this information. So that is great, because it is in there, and that's what makes this quite valuable to use it as material for study, for remembrance, because Joel says it in a very simple and practical way. And see, he is not really referring to understanding whatsoever. No, he just gives practical information, practical instruction, how to apply, and how to say, in fact, calm yourself down, that it is working out perfectly. It is working better than you think. You know what I'm saying? It's like, certainly in situations where healing takes place, or where you think that you have to do something, he just comforts you by saying, like, no, wait, just wait. It's going to be all right, whether you feel that in this instant or not. Don't become doubtful or uncertain about yourself in that. No, you can really trust this. So that's a very gentle reminder that I love to pass on to you. And that's why this chapter is, for me, like a beauty. It's a real jewel. It's full of material that is so essential in say, building or developing the trust in what is going on with healing, in what is going on with you, and what possibilities you have in your daily activities, like being about your business, as he calls it, and seeing that this applies. It works. It works. It works. Something has happened. Something has happened. So you can just say that to yourself, whatever this is, something has happened. I can be sure of that. So thank you so much for being part of this class, and I'm really happy that we met like this in the last 6 classes, and in this class, of course. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.